Hello and welcome to Saturday's Football Review. We're going to talk about what went down in the Premier League match between Arsenal and Newcastle United as Arsenal try to get their first place on the table back. While Manchester City facing Southampton in the FA Cup semi-final 1 tie at Wembley, and over in Wolverhampton, Tottenham Hotspur try their luck to win their first game of 2026 against the relegated side Wolverhampton as they try to avoid relegation. And Liverpool face Crystal Palace at Anfield as they try to cement their place in the Champions League. And over in Spain, Atletico Madrid faces Athletic Bilbao to end their winless run on the La Liga. Let's analyze each of these games together. Full-time score over Emirates between Arsenal and Newcastle United. Arsenal 1, Newcastle United 0. As Eze sends Arteta's side back to the Premier League again, summit. Arsenal got back to the winning ways against Newcastle United with Eberechi Eze's first half goal proving the difference at the Emirates. Arsenal edged back ahead in the Premier League title race with Eberechi Eze's early goal earning a 1-0 win over Newcastle United. The Gunners were knocked off the top spot in midweek after Man City beat Burnley, but they returned to the summit after grinding out a narrow victory over Eddie Howe's out-of-form side. An open start saw Bruno Guimaraes curled a shot just over the bar before Eze dragged an effort wide following a set piece at the other end. But Eze whipped a delightful finish into the top left corner from a cleverly worked Arsenal set piece in the 90th minute to put the hosts in front at the Emirates Stadium. Joe Willock curled a strike straight at David Raya, who then kept Arsenal in front on the half-hour mark. He brilliantly readjusted his feet to quickly get down to Sandro Tonali's dipping long-range effort. A low-key second half started to burst into life later on, with second-half substitute Yohan Wissa sending an acrobatic effort sailing over the crossbar in Newcastle's best opening. Martin Odegaard also saw a late drive pushed back by Nick Pope as Arsenal chased the second goal, but they had already done enough to move 3 points clear of City, who had a game in hand due to their FA Cup exploits. Arsenal have become synonymous with their set-piece expertise this season, and their winner came from another perfectly worked corner. They now hold the Premier League record for most goals from corners in a single season, which is 17. 13 of those have put them 1-0 up. With this also the most times a team have opened the scoring via a corner goal in the Premier League campaign. Only 2 of Arsenal's 17 goals from corners in the top flight this season have come when taken short. Both of those have been scored home and away against Newcastle. As for the Magpies, the pressure continues to rise on Eddie Howe. They have 16 losses in the Premier League this season, are their most in the single campaign since 2020-21 season, which is 17. 9 of those defeats have come in 2026. They join mostly in the competition, which is level with Tottenham and Burnley. 1-0 the scoreline as Arsenal claim their leading spots. Before we move to the other Premier League fixtures, let's take a look at what went down in the FA Cup semi-final between Man City and Southampton. As Man City win 2-1 as Nico Gonzalez Thunderbolt secures 4 consecutive FA Cup final. Man City's domestic treble are still alive after they came from behind to defeat Southampton 2-1 in the FA Cup semi-final. Man City booked their place in the 4th consecutive FA Cup final as Nico Gonzalez was the match winner for City in the 87th minute, just 8 minutes after Finn Azaz put the Saints ahead in the dramatic affair in London, Wembley Stadium. Leo Scienza thought he has given Southampton a shock lead in the 12th minute, but his celebrations were cut short after the linesman intervened for offside. The first half was fairly quiet from there on with Daniel Pertez saves to deny Omar Marmoush at the near post the only highlight, but City upped the pressure after the break. The Saints were pinned into their own box as Tijani Reindeers curled narrowly wide, Marmoush shot over from close range, and Savino's effort was parried away by Perez. However, after City failed to hit the back of the net, With 3 shots in the space of 6 seconds, Hazard has opened his body and curled into the far corner from outside of the box to stun the Premier League outfit. That lead only lasted 3 minutes though, as Doku saw his shot deflect past Perez off the outstretched leg of James Bree. And City did not hold back as Gonzalez thundered a long-range rocket into the top corner to break Southampton's hearts, though they perhaps should have scored a third when Savinho saw an effort clear off the line later. City's pressure eventually told in the semi-final with Pep Guardiola's producing 1.83 expected goals from 26 shots to Southampton's 0.2 from 4 attempts. Doku was at his free-flowing best in the Premier League side, creating a match-high 5 chances while completing 11 of his 14 dribbles and winning 13 of his 16 duels, which both match highs, to go with his goal and assist. Nico Gonzalez's strike was scored from the 30.1 yards out, the longest range goal by a City player this season. Indeed, 50% of the Spaniard goals, 2 out of 4 in all competitions for City, have come from outside the box. Guardiola's side are now the first team to reach the FA Cup final in 4 consecutive seasons, though they have won just 1 of their past 3. And that's full time in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. Man City 2, Southampton 1, and tomorrow there will be another semi-final tie between Chelsea and Leeds. Now we move back to the Premier League as a relegation battle between already relegated Wolves and Tottenham Hotspur, as Tottenham Hotspur win 1-0 away as Palhinha give Derby's side first win of 2026. Tottenham ended their 15-game winless run in the Premier League as Wolves thanks to Joao Palhinha, but they are no closer to safety. Joao Palhinha's late strike earned Tottenham their first win of 2026 with a 1-0 victory over Wolves, but they remain in the relegation zone. Substitute midfielder Palhinha turned home from inside his own 6-yard box in the 82nd minute to earn Spurs a 15-game winless run and had Roberto De Zerbi his first victory in charge of the club. However, with West Ham also scoring late to secure 2-1 victory over Everton, Spurs remain 18th and 2 points adrift of safety with 4 games left. Spurs lacked creativity and looked set to miss out on a chance to pick up the valuable 3 points in the bid to survival after knee injuries forced Dominic Solanke and Xavi Simons off. Jose Sa was not forced into action until he had to get down to his left to keep out Rodrigo Bentancur's powerful header in the 69th minute, after Simons had blazed a great chance over. Wolves grew in confidence, but Spurs finally make the breakthrough when Pedro Porro's corner fell into the feet of Richarlison, who stabbed the ball into the path of unmarked Palhinha, played onside by Matt Doherty. Spurs had Anton Kinski to thank for ensuring they held on to 3 points, though the goalkeeper produced a sensational save to palm Joao Gomez's free kick away from the top right corner in the 98th minute. Wolves, whose relegation to the Championship was confirmed on Monday, remained bottom of the table. By securing their first win since 1-0 success against Crystal Palace on December 28, Spurs avoided equaling their worst winless league run since 1935. Palhinha's goal was his 4th in the Premier League this season. Only Richarlison, who was 9, has more for Tottenham. It also means 7 of his 11 top flight goals have come from corners. His goal was the first winner scored by a Spurs substitute in the Premier League since February 2024, when Brendan